A path that can be walked upon is not the enduring and unchanging way. You cannot speak of it, for it has no name. Names will always change with time, but the way endures, unchanging for all eternity. This, without form or name, is the origin of all things. As we name it, it becomes the creator and caretaker of all things. As we lose our will to desire, we begin to understand the great mystery. For our desire obscures our view of the Creator with its products. The mystery and what it produces are one and the same, yet we separate it by giving it different names. The unity of these two things is the mystery and the portal to all wonder and understanding. We all see beauty contrasted by ugliness. We know good is good because we have experienced evil arising from a lack of good. Being and non-being make each other happen. Difficult and easy give definition to each other. There is only the long because there is the short. We see height only by comparing it to loneliness. Melody and harmony cannot be achieved without using different notes. One who follows the way is comfortable with contradiction and paradox, and detaches from effort, and allows affairs to manage themselves. A wise person teaches the value of not using words by example. All things that show themselves to one with the way are accepted as they are. The wise one will not claim ownership of any of them. As this person works with all things, they are allowed to go through their processes, and no reward is required. The sage will compete without need of a win, accomplish without stopping to notice achievement, and succeed without self-congratulations. The work is done and forgotten without prejudice. Its power remains intact and lasts forever. Granting status causes discord. Place little value on what is difficult to obtain, and save yourself from those who would steal it from you. Do not flaunt what others desire but do not have. This way, their hearts and minds will remain peaceful. A leader knows people with peaceful hearts and minds are easy to manage. The satisfied are neither willful nor ambitious towards their own ends. The healer may then strengthen their backbones. When action becomes pure and selfless, cunning and greed are not acted upon. Abstinence from willful action brings about universal good order. Everything settles within reach. The Tao is empty and cannot be filled. When we use it, we must also be empty, like the origin of all things. Within it, we smooth our sharp edges, simplify the complicated, diffuse our light, and settle our discord. The way of life will always be pure and still. It exists hidden and subtle to the senses. Who created this? Was it here before God? Heaven and earth give no preference to one form of matter over another. They think all stuff is to be created and celebrated for a time, then cast aside and trodden underfoot. Likewise, it is with the way of things to celebrate whatever is before you in this time and place. Let us compare the space between heaven and earth to a bellows. It is empty, yet has great power. The more it is used, the more it replenishes itself. Stop using words. Sit quietly. Look to the void within for the truth of your inner being. Hold on to that center. Keep yourself within it, and guard it against disturbances. Think of the everlasting spirit as a mysterious female. She lies like a valley under heaven. The entrance to this spirit is through the root of creation. This is a being of eternal power. Use her gently, and she will always be with you. The earth will always continue to be ancient. Heaven always was and always will be, because they do not exist for themselves. Knowing the secret to eternity, the master puts his own person last and wins the lead position. He witnesses himself from a distance and treats himself as a stranger. This person stays strong and is not diminished. This is because when he serves the needs of others, his own needs are fulfilled. The greatest good behaves like water. It benefits all living things without effort. It does not shrink back from the low places feared by most people. It flows like the Tao. Live where you are comfortable. Meditate with a still mind and go deep into your heart. Be kind in your relationships and congruent in your speech. Manage with care, impartially, to secure good order. Be capable to the best of your abilities. Be patient, respect time, choose your moments carefully. Settling without struggling, the wisest of beings move in harmony with all, offending no one, beyond reproach, and always knowing the truth of just what to do. An overfilled vessel will spill and is difficult to carry. It is better to leave some space empty. Once you have sharpened your blade, stop playing with it. If you continue to grind, your edge will be lost and your knife will become dull and useless. Fill your home with gold and jade, and it is no longer safe. If fame and fortune inflate the ego, catastrophe is unavoidable. As you achieve your ends, if you are starting to attract too much attention, it is better to back off and rest. This is the way of the Tao. We have the body of an animal, the intellect of a human, and the soul of a god. To embrace the oneness of these three is to remain steadfast and avoid straying. To concentrate your energy, give your undivided attention to your breathing. Let your body and breath become deeply relaxed, like a sleeping newborn baby. Clear away your worldly view and the special effects of your imagination. Become clean, pure, perfect. Be passive. Do not try to force or control the openings and closings of the gates of heaven. Can you love your people and manage your environment without being driven towards your own ends? With clarity on all matters, can you present as one with a simple mind? Feed creativity and release any control or ownership of the outcome. Take no credit for the work that you do. Never brag about your achievements. Cultivation rules where domination fails. This is the mystic virtue, and it brings the power of the Tao to this very earth. 30 spokes come together to make a wheel, and depend on the empty space in the center of them for their functioning. You may shape clay into a cup, but if it has no emptiness, it cannot be filled and is of no use. Doors and windows can be useful for their empty spaces, but are still dependent on the emptiness of the room they serve to be of any use. All things in a position to benefit need emptiness to function. Colors dazzle the eyes, sounds deafen the ears, flavors overpower taste. We run and chase to kill mindlessly. This is madness. The struggle to obtain objects that are rare, valuable, and useless cause one to become stunted and self-serving. This is why one of great spirit satisfies the needs of within preferring to do this over chasing the longings of the senses. Both the approval and disapproval of others can cause one great anxiety. That either of these opinions may afflict your person is one of the greatest misfortunes of the self. Why is this? Seeking favor is degrading, and once it is gotten, one lives in constant fear of the day it will be lost. Losing favor is shameful and leads to fear of even greater calamity. Again, I ask, why is this so? The reason why we suffer is because we have selves. Without a self, we cannot have problems. You are not this body that will soon die. Your true self is eternal. When you see yourself as part of the world and the world as part of yourself, you can be trusted to govern. The invisible, the inaudible, and the intangible cannot be defined. Therefore, these three are merged as one. If you rise above the upper part of it, there is no bright beginning. If you sink below the lower part of it, there is no dark ending. It goes on, continuing endlessly, ceaseless in action, refusing to be named, ever returning to become nothing. It is the form of the formless, the image of the invisible, a quick, twinkling mystery. Before it, I do not see its front or where it begins. I follow it, but do not see its back or where it ends. Therefore, I find it is better to be it and relax into my own life. Discover, hold on to, and practice the ways of the ancient masters. As ones who know how things have always been, they are in harmony with the way of things today. As you come to know the ancient beginning, assume it to be true, so you can move on to unravel the great mystery. The subtle, exquisite wonders of the ancient masters require profound penetration into this mystery. Their wisdom is so deep, no one could ever find the bottom of it. That without limits cannot be defined, so I will attempt to describe them by their appearance. Nimble, like someone crossing a stream in winter. Aware, like someone surrounded by enemies. Ordinary, like uncarved wood. Empty and open as a vacant valley. Melting away like ice on a warm day. This person is a serious visitor, a guest in this world, in awe of his host. It is impossible to see clearly through muddy water. When stirred up, your thoughts become muddled and cloudy. Cease and desist. In the stillness, even the muddiest of water becomes clean and clear. Learn to rest while working, for this condition perpetuates life. As you practice the way, it is best not to become too full of anything, especially yourself. When you are never overfilled, you can be content with who you are and avoid chasing perfection. Empty yourself completely. Allow your heart to become a place of perfect serenity. All things come and go. Watch them return to rest and notice how endings become beginnings. Each thing flourishes only to return to its source and become still again. This is the flow of nature. Her eternal decay and renewal are constant. Accepting the constant brings clarity. One without clarity recklessly causes trouble and brings about misery and disaster. Knowing the constancy of nature's flow, one sees things from the perspective of universal acceptance. Accepting all leads to being impartial. Being impartial naturally leads to one seeing things as a generous and noble sovereign. This is your divine right. Claim it and become one with the Tao. Be one with the Tao is to be immortal. The false self withers and the body decays, but a spirit of the Tao lives on for all eternity. The greatest leaders are those that are barely noticed. Below them are those that are loved and praised. Below them are those that are feared. Below them are those that are despised and defied. Have faith in your people, and they will have